Hello, planty people. I know it's been a while since I put up a video, and there is reason for that. I was trying to do at least every 2 weeks, just if I had something to do, but it's been quite a bit longer than that. I was actually hospitalized for almost a month. It was a super random, came out of nowhere, sudden medical emergency. But I'm back home now. I am doing better. I'm feeling better every day. So, daylight savings was yesterday, and I'm so excited for the longer days. So excited for spring to come. So excited for the sunshine. And I have a few plants that have been desperately, desperately, desperately waiting for a repot. So I figured I'd just get the first repotting session done and out of the way. We'll do, I'll do a little story time of my hospitalization, get that out of the way, move on from that. Just want to get on with my life, get on with springtime now. Do have to do a soil mix. I've got some weird stuff going on in my soil bin. So talk about that, do a little soil mix, and then we'll get on to the repotting. So yeah, just a little repot story time chat. Let's get into it. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so first things first is I have a small issue that needs to be addressed. This is where I mix my soil. I put it in this tub here, in hopes that it will be protected, but apparently not. I keep getting mixed answers on what this is. This is a mix that I did back in fall. So it has been sitting, in this tub for quite some time. Every time I try to Google photo it, it's either mold or possibly fungus gnat eggs or some sort of infestation. Regardless of what it is, I'm not a fan. I don't want it in my soil and I don't want it in my plants. So it's got to go. I'm going to get rid of this soil, wash out this tub, and do a new soil mix. If anybody does know, exactly what this is, I would love it if you could let me know, because like I said, I keep getting mixed answers. But it's just all up in the soil in the tub. So got to take care of that first and then do a brand new mix, and then we can get to the repotting. All right, now we got the new soil mixture. Everything should be all nice and clean and ready to go, brand new. Makes me feel a lot better. Now I've just got to gather the plants that we are going to be transplanting today. So I'm going to go get those. So these are the plants that just kind of desperately need repotting. Been trying to wait over winter to repot them. And I know it's not officially spring just yet, but it's warm enough to at least start, because some of these just, like this poor thing, really could benefit from a new pot. And what are you doing? Silly. And it's like falling over. It's way too top heavy, so it needs a new pot. Same with this little cactus. It fell into my sink last night, so it just really needs a new pot. I really wish it wasn't so windy today. This is a golden rat's tail cactus, and it's growing a lot, but it was already like too big for this pot when I put it in there last year, so it definitely deserves a bigger pot. This beautiful philodendron Brazil has just been going absolutely crazy for me since I got it. So it definitely needs and deserves a bigger pot for this year's growth season. I have another philodendron white knight here. I feel like I'm struggling with this plant a little bit, but it is growing. I just feel like I'm not getting nice big leaves off of it. So I'm thinking this one probably wants a bigger pot as well. And for this yucca here, I actually just found this yucca the other night. It was a Home Depot rescue, so you already know the drill on that. Poor thing is dripping. And of course, it's in that substrate that just stays wet forever. And this is a succulent, and it does not like to stay wet. So we're just going to go ahead and fix that and give it a fighting chance for the growing season in a better soil. So we're going to get to it. I think we're probably going to do the golden rat's tail first, just because I feel like I can utilize this pot for one of the other plants. Plus, it's probably going to be the hardest one because it's spiky. I'll have to pull out my bubble wrap. But yeah, let's get started. Okay, so for some of the smaller ones, I've decided that I'm going to go ahead and just do these ones inside, because it is a really, really nice day, which I'm so excited about, but it's windy, and the sun is kind of like not really cooperating with me out there. We are still going to do the yucca outside just because it is so big. That one I think we'll do second. Might fast forward through that one just because it's windy and noisy out there, but we're going to start with the golden rat's tail cactus here, because I probably might, I don't know yet, but maybe we'll be using this specific pot for one of these other plants. Got my bubble wrap here. This one is kind of going to be a little bit difficult to get out because it's just like already taken over this whole pot. It was already a little bit too big for this pot when I planted it in here last year, but at that time, for some reason, it was just the only pot that I had that it would fit into. Now I have some more sizes, so we'll get this baby all ready for summer, which it probably will be going outside with the rest of the cacti and succulents for the summer. I've recently put it in my bedroom window, and it has been loving that because it actually does get a lot of direct sun most of the day in there. So it's been growing all these little tiny tails and these little babies over here. It's so cute. So I know it is happy getting a lot of direct light. So I probably will end up putting it outside with the other ones over the summer. So funny, I haven't really done any repotting of anything over the winter, so it almost feels like weird, like I don't remember what I'm doing. But I'm excited for spring to come. I really don't like fall, and fall is okay. Winter is just not my jam. It's cold, it's dark, it's depressing. So I don't really do great over the winter. I know the plants are not happy over the winter either. So I know it's not officially spring yet, but the days are longer and brighter and it's warming up. And I am so excited. So excited. I figured while we struggle with this one, I would do a little story time because I know I had probably mentioned in the beginning of the video, it's been a while, at least over a month since I have posted anything, and it was because of really just a very random, sudden, extremely sudden medical emergency, I guess. So I spent pretty much all of February in the hospital. And the reason for that, and like I said, very sudden, very strange, very just out of nowhere. It was Saturday, January 31st. I woke up and I don't know, I kind of had like a weird little stomach cramp, and I was like, I don't know, maybe I have like a stomach bug or something. But it wasn't bad or anything. I went out that day, I did errands, I went grocery shopping, and that was the day I even did the winter January nursery tour. So I went to the nursery, I made a video, I was running errands, obviously I was not in a lot of pain. That night, I was up all night, vomiting. It was really bad. And so again, I was like, okay, I must have really gotten some sort of like really bad stomach bug. Maybe it's just a 24-hour stomach bug. I'll feel better tomorrow. Whatever. So Sunday, I did kind of start feeling a little bit better, but I was exhausted from being up all night. And so I slept on the couch most of the day. Things had slowed down, so I really wasn't too concerned. But then Sunday night, I started getting like really bad stomach pains, like really bad. And I was like, okay, something is clearly wrong because these pains are definitely not, oh no, not normal. So my boyfriend took me to the hospital, and come to find out, I'm really struggling with this. Hold on. Okay, so what I found out after going to the hospital, my appendix had ruptured. And really, they say a lot of times when this happens, it's like you should know beforehand. I guess it's a really painful thing. I'm breaking my cactus. I knew this was going to be difficult, but dang. Okay. Shoot. So yeah, I mean, I didn't have a lot of warning. It was like it just all suddenly happened within 24 hours. So I was rushed in for an emergency appendectomy, which took place the next day. So it was like Monday the 2nd. There we go. So I had that surgery, and it was just really a bad experience because the appendix had ruptured. So it created a lot of complications. I was really sick. I was really, really sick. I was basically unconscious for 3 days, like after the surgery. And shout out to the nurses. Like, if I have any nurses watching this right now, like, you guys, thank you for your service, because you guys deal with so much. You're so busy. You do so much for the people that you take care of. And I personally feel like within those 3 days after my surgery, if you guys weren't taking care of me, I probably would have died. It was really bad. So they kept me for a while. And then a week later, because of the ruptured appendix, I still had, there was a forming or a developing abscess in my pelvis that needed to be removed. So I had to have a second surgery to remove that. So then I was still there, under being monitored and on antibiotics and all that stuff to make sure that that was going to be okay. I need to find a pot for this. I'll be right back. Okay, so after the second surgery, that was all good. Everything started to kind of slowly get better, and they did send me home. I went home for about 2 days, and then all of a sudden, I couldn't breathe. Like, I was having really a hard time breathing, and I was having extremely like sharp pains throughout my back and my chest and my lungs. So I went back to the hospital, and basically what happened was, I was kind of stuck just laying in bed for 9-10 days, and they're pumping you full of fluids at the hospital like they do, and that fluid has to go somewhere. So I ended up with a bunch of fluid in my lungs. So then they admitted me again for another week, and I was there, and I was on oxygen and more antibiotics, and it was weird because it did kind of start to improve. Like, I was breathing okay without the oxygen. So they sent me home again, but then it was the same. I couldn't breathe, sharp pains. So I went back and was like, okay, I don't really know what needs to be done, but like, admitting me for another week is clearly not the answer. I wanted to go home so bad. So they had to do a thoracentesis, which is a lung tap, where basically, sorry, that's my dog. You want to be the star of the show, don't you, kiddo? I don't want that right now. We'll play in a minute, okay? I'm busy. Cutie. So basically what they did was they gave me a shot in my back and removed the fluid out of my lungs. So essentially another surgery, but it's not quite as invasive as like an actual surgery. So we did that, and then I got to go home again, and I've been home for about 2 weeks. I did get sent home with more antibiotics. I finished the antibiotics. I finally am feeling better. I'm still really sore. Like, my abdomen is really sore. I had 3 incisions in my abdomen for the appendectomy, and so those are healing up, and I am sore still, but it's finally to a point where, it's like I feel like I wasn't really able to heal because I was having all of these different random complications. So finally now I'm like breathing better every day. I'm not getting the sharp pains. I'm just sore in my abdomen from the incisions healing, and they kind of had to rearrange like my whole abdomen area. So I'm gonna be sore. That's a given. But every day is getting better. And then yesterday was daylight savings time. And so I literally just kind of felt the life coming back into me because I'm so excited for spring and the longer days, and just looking forward to this year, like looking forward to healing from that experience and moving on with my life. And you know, it kind of gives you that sense of like, okay, I need to do better. Like I need to take care of myself more, maybe eat better. I mean, who doesn't, of course, but the good thing about, you know, the appendix is there's only one, and now mine's gone, so won't necessarily have to worry about that anymore. But it kind of makes me worry about other things, you know, like, you know, I'm getting older. It's just a thing. Everybody ages and gets older, and I've never had any sort of like medical issues before in my entire life. Like I think the last time I was in a like admitted to a hospital, I think I was like 4 years old. You know, I hardly go to the doctor. I just finally started seeing a doctor just as like a primary doctor last year. So it was so random and so weird and out of character for me. Like even my friends, when I was telling them, they're like, Misty doesn't get sick like this. Like, yeah, maybe once a year I'll get like a cold or a flu or something, but this was just totally bizarre and random and sudden and surreal. Like I felt like I was in a dream. Like this could not be real life. This is so crazy. But here we are. It's a new day. Spring is coming. I'm getting better every day. Things are looking good. So I just figured I would share that with you guys because I was gone, and you know, I had been trying at least to get videos up, you know, every 2 weeks or so, but I was stuck in the hospital for a little while. But getting better, and spring is here, and that means growing season is here, and summer is coming, and I'm so happy and excited. And I even made a joke to my boyfriend while I was in the hospital. I was saying, well, I'm glad that it's February and that it's winter because, you know, if it was spring or summer, I would be bummed that I'm stuck in here. Oh, I wanted to go home so bad. I felt like I was in jail or something. I was like, I just want to get out of here. I want some fresh air. I want to go for a walk at something, you know. I wanted out so bad. So glad to be home. Glad to be healing finally without any complications. Loving that it is staying light out later. And that's why, like, I know it's not officially spring yet, but these plants here just really have been waiting desperately for repotting. So I figured I have the time today. It's nice. Get a little jump start on some of the spring plant chores that need to be done. So yeah, little story time. If any of you guys have ever gone through anything like that, I feel you. I feel your pain. I hope you're doing great. I hope it wasn't as hectic as my experience. Yeah, it really just seemed like a domino effect, and like every time we do something, something else was wrong. But we're here. I made it. Got through it. So, planty things, springtime, longer days, hotter days. So excited. I'm sure I'll be going back to the nursery soon. I really need to stop buying plants, or I need to sell some of my plants, which it's like, I don't really want to do that because I love my plants, but I'm running out of room. I really don't have any room. And you know, spring and summer, I'm going to be going to the nursery, and I'm probably going to come home with a few more plants, but I have nowhere to put anything. And even the yucca outside that we're going to plant up next, I don't know where to put it. I just brought it home, and it's been sitting over by my front door, just kind of sitting there because I'm really out of room. I don't know where to put it, but I had to have it, of course, you know. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm basically just hoarding plants at this point. I mean, they're all, you know, in a spot. They all have their spot. Like my office is absolutely stunning, and I'm so happy that I'm, you know, surrounded by the plants that I love all day in my office, but there's quite literally no more room in there. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. Well, got this guy potted up. I think he'll be much happy with some more room in here. I'm gonna put him over there so we can water him in, and then we'll go ahead and go back outside, get the yucca done, and we'll come back in and do the rest of these little babies. But I think this one is going to be much happier with some more space because it was really, really kind of squished in this other pot. So okay, so I changed my mind. We're actually gonna just do all of the ones in here first. And then I'll go back outside to do the yucca. We're gonna do this little cactus. This, well, I don't know, it says cactus opuntia assorted, but I don't know, I'll have to actually look it up and tell you exactly what it is, but it's really cute and really tiny. I'm gonna show you guys. So tiny and cute, but it's like falling over. It's very top heavy, so I'm just gonna put it in one of these little like clay pots that I have. I think it'll be good for the season because that's definitely a pretty big upsize. So got to be careful with the watering and that, but it keeps falling over and I don't want it to break. So gonna go ahead and do this one. I don't know what your guys' plans are for spring and summer. Like, I'm just so happy that the weather is getting warmer. The days are longer. Like, I know I keep repeating myself, but I really am just so excited about that. I don't like winter. I do not like winter. And, you know, it was actually a really mild winter here in my location, surprisingly. Usually we get like a lot of snow, a lot of snow and a lot of freezing. It was not terrible this winter, thank goodness. But it's still like dark and gloomy and cold, and it's like I'm like a bear and I just want to hibernate. Like I don't want to participate with winter. As soon as it starts getting nice and warm and bright outside is when I'm like, okay, yeah, time to do some things. I want to do some stuff this summer. I really want to go to the lake a few times. I want to just want to get out and like do things, you know. Obviously all of the planty things, you know, I don't know, I kind of really messed up last winter, I mean last summer, because it's like I got so many plants. It was just like every weekend I'm like, to the nursery we go, and now I just have too many, and that's why I'm saying I don't really know what to do, because you know, that joy we get from like buying a plant, like it's unbeatable. And then now my house is literally full of plants and I don't know what to do. I have too many. I have nowhere to put any other ones. So I'm thinking I might have to sell some. I've never really done that. I don't really know how to go about that. I don't know if I should just do it like on, you know, Facebook Marketplace, or, you know, long-term goals is I would actually love to start really selling plants, you know. I have so many beautiful plants that, you know I can make really nice propagations out of. It's just a space issue. You know, in order to sell plants, you kind of have to have the plants. You got to have an inventory. I just don't have anywhere to keep them is the problem. I'm getting cacti spines all over me. They're back. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe one of these days I would like to get like a little greenhouse or something that I can put outside, maybe for extra storage, or maybe we just need a bigger house. A girl can dream, right? But regardless, I'm just really excited for the growing season, and the warm weather and the longer days really brings me back to life. Tell you that much. And I'm very excited for all of my cacti and succulent to go on the back porch for the summer, because they thrive out there. They get that hot Nevada summer sun all day, and they love it, and they grow like crazy. So really excited to see the difference in growth from the beginning of spring to fall and my cacti and succulents, because yeah, they just go nuts out there, especially my Euphorbia amex. Those will be out there too, and I have a feeling they're gonna grow like crazy over summer. All right, this is cute. It does look pretty small for this pot, but it'll grow into it, and I'll just have to be really careful with the watering. It's really the smallest pot that I had, so it will have to work. Okay, so next I think we're gonna do the philodendron white knight. A little bit confused with this one because I don't think the roots have fully filled out this pot, honestly, but for some reason I'm just getting really small leaves. So I don't know, really. I think I'll pull it out, check it out, see what I want to do. It may stay in this pot if the root system is still small, but I don't know, feel like I need to at least check it out. I do have it growing upwards. I have it staked on a bamboo stick. I really wouldn't know how else to grow this plant because it just is growing like one big vine. So I don't know. If you guys have any tips or tricks on the philodendron white knight, I am more than happy to hear about it, because it's growing, it's going places, it's doing things, just I don't think to its full potential. I mean, I know it's winter, so maybe that's it. Maybe it's a seasonal thing, or it's almost spring. So hopefully it will start giving me a little bit more. I just feel like this could be such a beautiful, majestic plant, and it's just not that for me right now, and I really want it to be. So, okay. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. It's a bit bigger than I was thinking it was. All right. We can definitely see. I'm dumb and I don't know why, but I watered this last night, not thinking that I was going to transplant it today, but that's okay. It will live. But yeah, okay. Yeah, definitely a bigger root system than I was thinking. So yes, I think I am going to, well, maybe even bigger. We need to go bigger. Let's see. Pour this out. Why is there always so much stuff stuck to the bottom of the pots? It's like the soil just gets petrified in there. Let's see. You know what? I think I might go bigger. Let's try this one. I think that would be perfect. I don't know if you guys can see. All right. Glad I did that. I almost didn't. I almost was going to be because it was really small. The root system was really small when I got the plant. And I got that, I feel in the fall time, actually. So It's grown quite a bit, even over the winter. I just wasn't sure because it's like the leaves down here, were nice and big, and then the new leaves I'm getting are just not. So that's why I was kind of thinking, maybe it needs a new pot. But yeah, really, I don't know. I'll find some pictures and I'll put them up because I feel like these philodendron white knights, they can be, such beautiful plants. And that's what I'm going for. That's what I want to get out of this plant, but so far is not really happening. But only had it since the fall and it's only been growing over winter. So I guess I shouldn't really complain too much, or I should see, what it does for me over the spring and the summer. It could amaze me. We'll see. The fact that it's been growing so fast, even over winter, has already been pretty amazing. But I want those big, beautiful, variegated leaves, and it just seems like every leaf I'm getting is smaller than the last one. So who knows? Maybe it just needs spring to come around and wake it up a little bit more, hopefully. And this one seems to do really well with the same care that I give pretty much all of my plants. I have it in a very bright area in my office, so it is getting really good light. And I let it dry out in between waterings, and then I water it really good, let it dry out, and it seems to be happy with that. I'm wondering maybe if I shouldn't let it completely dry out. I don't know if that might help, or maybe that's why it's giving me smaller leaves. But at the moment, I think I'm just going to blame it on seasonal. See, if things get any better after this repot and going into spring. Because, plants, they just know. Even indoor plants, they just tend to know when it's growing season. Okay, let me try to get this little stake back in here. I think it'll be much happier in the bigger pot, honestly. I did not expect that much root growth from this thing, so I'm really glad that I pulled that out. Where did the little strappies go? Oh, there's one. I wonder what I did with the other one. But yeah, I think this will definitely help. And the fact that we're going into growing season, I think will also definitely help. I really want to see what this plant can do. I know it can be such a stunning, beautiful specimen. So I really, really want to see that happen. Very excited. Like the variegation on this plant, like this, just that creamy white, and I love that. I know it turns brown and it's such a bummer. Anybody knows how to prevent the super white creamy variegation from browning? Help me out. Let me know, please. A lot of it has become pretty brown, as you can see. But the white, when it is white, it's so pretty. So definitely want to see what this plant has in store for me over the growing season. Okay, this poor thing, it's a little Ficus teneki, and it's been screaming for a new pot. I've had this for about a month. I bought this like the day before I went to the hospital. So this has been a trooper. It's just been sitting around waiting, just waiting for help. And I think I'm going to put that in another clear pot, the same one that I just put the philodendron white knight in, but I have to go get it. Okay, so I know that this is a very large size difference, but I'm not worried, especially with a ficus. I've noticed the ficuses that I have, the roots tend to grow very rapidly. So we'll get this in here. These leaves are just so stunning, like the coloration that they get. This is the only Taneki that I have, and somehow I have ended up with so many Ficus altissimas, and I don't know what to do with all of them. I love them, don't get me wrong, but they are growing at such a rapid pace that they're all, going to outgrow my house pretty soon. I'll either just have to trim them back or get rid of some of them. I have one really big one over there. That big thing is the huge Ficus altisima that I have. I have another one that's, almost, it's like up to my waist from the ground. And then I have another one that's almost as tall as me and has a few branches. And lastly, I have a pot that has 3 of them propagations that I did all in one pot that I'm going to try to like braid or intertwine together. I think that would be cute, but I just don't really know how I ended up with so many of these. I do love them, but they're also kind of a pain, like they need such bright light for them to get the yellow variegation on their leaves. So sometimes, I don't know, it's like when they're in the house over the winter, they're just not happy. And if I could, I would leave them outside, but I can't because it gets too cold here for them. But they're not happy inside over the winter, and I just don't know what to do about it because they'll die if I leave them out. So can't do that. So now I'm kind of turning to the Taneki. We'll see if I have good luck with this one, and I don't want, a million of them. So, yeah, because surprisingly, along with the cacti and succulents, the Ficus altissimas go outside for the summer as well. They love light. They love the light. Like I said, I can't get so Ficus altissima, I'll put a picture in case you don't know what I'm talking about, but they're like the golden gem or the lemon lime ficus because they get yellowing variegation on their leaves, but that only happens if they're getting enough light. And for them, that's a lot of light. They need a lot of light. And then over the winter, I have to bring them inside because it's too cold here for them. And they don't like it. They start kind of getting curly leaves and just green leaves, no variegation. So it's kind of disappointing that they do that. And I wish, like I said, that I could just leave them outside where they're happy, but it's just too cold here. And I guess what I'm trying to say is I just don't know how I ended up with so many of them. And they all struggle through the winter. So I just need to get rid of some of them as well. I don't know. But anyway, this Taneki is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm really excited for this to get big also. And like I said, I'm not too worried about how big this pot is because in the next couple of months, this thing will probably already outgrow it. Ficus roots grow really quickly, so very much not too worried about it. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with this one over the summer. It might go outside. It just depends. on how the new growth goes over the next month or two. We'll see. We'll see what it wants to do. Now we've got the oh so large and beautiful philodendron Brazil. This thing has just gone absolutely crazy for me, even over the winter. It's like quadrupled in size since I got it. So it definitely deserves an upsize. And I have to figure out real quick what I'm going to put it in. Okay, so that was the first repotting session of the season. Again, just so excited for the longer days and for springtime and for summertime and the growing season. It's my favorite time of year. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more of this type of stuff to come. I know I still have a few plants that will need repotting soon. And we all know there's probably going to be a few new plants, even though I have no more room for them. but it's inevitable. We will figure it out. Um, but anyway, thank you all for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that you all have such a wonderful, beautiful planty day.